Could the global spread of an existing disease lead to a zombie-like pandemic? A look around the world paints a surprisingly bleak picture.
Nature is full of diseases and plagues that turn people into real-life zombies. The so-called nodding disease that we see at the moment in Uganda emerged in Sudan in the 60s. Little's known about it. It turns people almost into vegetables. You get kids affected by this thing. They rock backwards and forwards. They nod their heads. It affects their brains.
They look at times like they're near death or dead. Ultimately, it kills. But before it does that, these children can become violent. They become mindless.
But the nodding disease is not alone in causing disturbing zombie-like symptoms. There is also the human variation of mad cow disease, called variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, or VCJD.
It's caused by a mutated protein. There are new indications that VCJD can be transmitted from person to person through blood contact. On top of that, the symptoms are evolving. It causes you to go violently insane, so much so that some experts have recommended that if someone starts showing advanced signs of VCJD, you should lock them in a room until they die, because it's 100% fatal, there's no treatment. And if that person who's violently insane attacks you, gets their blood on you or in you, then it's 100% communicable. To me, that looks a lot like what we think of as a type of zombie sickness.
If the cause of a zombie-like pandemic is an infectious disease, it may be only a matter of time until a local outbreak transforms into an apocalyptic global disaster.
The nightmare scenario is something airborne with a slow incubation period. Somebody breathes into your face and you catch this thing, but you don't feel ill for several days. In that time, you're in public places. You're getting on a plane. This thing could be halfway around the world before you even know you're sick.
And then it would have the ability to mutate to drugs, to our immunity. It may be that we are nothing more than the cattle to the virus, the harvest.
If a zombie-like disease ravages the planet in our future, the world could quickly devolve into a nightmarish hellscape.
Imagine a rage disease spreading like a plague throughout the world. The government and the military would step in, rounding up the population. It's panic, it's blood, it's destruction. Your civil liberties would cease to exist. You might be quarantined, you might be experimented on, you might even be killed. It would be the end of the world as we know it.
If we went 10 years in an unstoppable flu that destroyed brains, created zombies, there would be nobody there to do research. There would be nobody there. And that's frightening.
If there is a zombie-like disease outbreak in our future, it could be the spark that ignites the flame of our demise. So Matt Moak, head of the Zombie Research Society, is leaving nothing to chance.
To survive a zombie apocalypse, you need to worry about the basics. You need to worry about water, you need to worry about food, you need to worry about shelter, and you need to worry about security. This is essentially a battle flashlight. It's got the stun on the end of it. It's also designed to be a bludgeon weapon, so if push comes to shove, you can actually use this in the same way you might use a baseball bat, so it's got several different uses. Weapons are an essential need in a zombie apocalypse because the reality is others will have weapons themselves. Got a hybrid weapon, which is the Gunstock War Club. What I would really want to do is aim straight for the head with this. So you come down over the top of your head and hit right on the top of your threat's head. 12-gauge shotgun is a very popular zombie weapon. You just pull the trigger. The problems with the shotgun is that they're very loud, so they draw a lot of attention to yourself. The last thing you want to do in any sort of major disaster or infection outbreak is to draw attention to yourself. You don't want to use your weapons if you don't have to. In the event of a zombie apocalypse, I'd be on the roof, I'd be under the house, easy to escape, many different exits. You need to be able to survive on your own. You need the supplies, you need the strategy, you need the wherewithal to live in a world that can no longer help you in any way.